Here we go. It is about 36 degrees. We're going to do a 21-mile hike, and this is in Pennsylvania, 346, part of the North Country Trail. Very gray, a little rainy right now. It's supposed to get down to 20 tonight. It's our parking spot. I have way overpacked for rain and cold. My pack came in at about 41 pounds today, so there's way more than I really need, but I bet I'll be glad to have a lot of it. So see you on the trail. Nice little creek over here. This first part of the trail has only been just over a mile from start, but it is all uphill. At least it's not rain. I'd rather have snow than rain. Temperature is dropping a little. Some of the trail's pretty muddy though. We are looking for a water source and a campsite within the next half hour or so, just to avoid having to set up in the dark. Temperature, I think, is going to plummet when the sun goes down. So not a lot of miles today. We'll end up doing only about 4. Right, so this is our day 1 campsite here. It's not totally flat. I'm gonna set up here. Lisa's gonna be over there, and we just came out of a really muddy section. There was a water source back about 1/8 of a mile. Not even. It was kind of a light one, but frankly, I'd rather melt snow for a water source. So I think that's what we'll end up doing tonight. Temperature's dropping, it's snowing, so I'm gonna get set up. I was able to get a little fire going, but it's taken about 2 hours to get this. Everything is really covered in ice and water. So it is only, there's my tent over there. There's my dinner, there's Lisa's. So I'm actually boiling some snow. I'm going to throw in that Nalgene right there so I can throw it in the bottom of my sleeping bag. And then I think, even though it is only 6:15, that's where I'm going to call it an evening. So as you can see, it's snowing still, so it's going to be cold tonight. So. Well, Burr, it is 7 o'clock. And
I didn't have to get up at all overnight, which is nice, but I have to get up now and go do some stuff. Sounds like it's windy, definitely below freezing. My sleeping bag and clothes kept me pretty warm last night. I slept pretty good. And so I guess I'll get up and start stirring. Try and do 10, 12 miles today.
Okay, so off on day 2 here. It's about just before 10 o'clock. And definitely everything's frozen, which would be nice because it won't be quite as muddy on some of this stuff. Although it's still a little soft in places. But just kind of casually got up, breakfast, and tore everything down. This would be a good camping spot here. A bench, definite water source, lots of flat spaces. This would have been a really nice camping spot. Well, the sun is starting to come out. We've got shadows, but we are on a pretty steep, steady climb, and definitely with the sun coming out and the temperature rising, it is warm enough. Had to stop and shed a layer, and it helped. A little overgrown in places. Pretty here, but it'll be rough in the spring, I think. Be easy to lose the trail too. It's pretty though. Nice little spot for a snack break, lunch break. It's about 12:30. We made coffee and got a little snack. So this was an interesting thing here, the challenge of having all your water and the hose for your bottle freezing. I got my hose stuck inside my jacket and shirt next to my body to thaw out now. It was getting hard to drink water. Stuff you learn winter camping. So looks like that is one of the shelters that people talked about, which would be kind of nice. A lot easier than a tent maybe. That is probably close to 10 miles in. But total. Yeah, that would be okay. Dry firewood, fire ring. Yeah. Huh, look at that, privy. That's kind of nice too. This is the water source where the shelter is. Very nice through here. Starting to thaw a little bit through here. It's wet and muddy. Makes walking through here kind of tough. This trail would definitely be muddy in the fall or spring. Really hard to do, I think. Summer, I bet it would dry out some, but a lot of wet spots. Done about 7 miles so far today. There's a lean-to about 2.5 miles from here that we're going to try and make it to tonight before the sun goes down. Be a little nicer than setting up a tent on the snow again. And they have a privy there, hopefully. Last one we saw did. That would be nice too. Pretty through here. All right, so there's been quite a bit of climbing up through these rocks like this. Deep snow, uphill. This is definitely a challenge. It's probably the hardest part of the hike so far. Climb over these rocks. Some of them are covered up. Ankles get a little twisted. We're going to try and make it to this lean-to. It's not a couple miles, but seeing these single footprints, obviously of a guy, because they're huge, hoping that he's not in the lean-to. Definitely a difference hiking through the snow uphill though.
Well, it was a very cold night. I think it was supposed to get down to about 21 last night. No signal here, so can't verify that exactly. I'll look at my thermometer on my pack in a minute. But we were in this shelter here, and Lisa set up in the tent there, and I just laid my cot out right underneath the shelter and snuggled up in the sleeping bag, and it was freezing. So it is now just after 7. We're going to try and get on the trail early today and get out of here for a long drive home.
Got out earlier today at 9 o'clock. So it's still pretty cold, but it looks like it's going to be sunny, and it's supposed to get up into the 40s today, so It'll warm up, but that's going to make everything muddy by the time we get out. We are considering, depending on the time, doing the road for the last 3 or 4 miles of it, just because both of us have 6-7 hour drives in the opposite direction. So we might end up taking the road, not doing the whole trail. Be all right by me. Yeah, looks about the same as much of the rest of the trail. Snow covered and uphill. There's a shelter over there. Looks like a nicer, much nicer one than the one we stayed at. Hard floor picnic table. Nice little area here. We are finally coming to the end of the trail. Ended up being about 8 miles today, and some uphill, not quite as bad. Appreciate everybody watching. Hope you learned something about this trail. A couple tips I can give. Well, first and foremost, let me just say I'm not a big fan of snow and winter camping. Everything freezes, it's cold and wet constantly. But well, there were some pretty spots on this trail, with the snow on the trees and everything, but overall, not a lot of vistas, which is a little disappointing. It might be nicer when everything was green, but I think it would be muddy, very muddy. It was even muddy this time of year, so maybe not right in the summer, but pretty muddy. The blazes, they're silver blazes. Hard to see sometimes with the snow stuck on the side of the trees. So keep that in mind. The trail was pretty well marked though. They did lots of fallen trees. Lots and lots of fallen trees. Had to walk around things. But please follow me on Trail Duck. And if you have any questions about gear or anything about this trail, then please leave a comment below. I will try and get back with you as quick as I can on that. And hope you enjoyed the video.